Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria 3, where if we're not going to be going to war for a little while here, and arguably either way, we probably should drop our military wages down so that we can make an additional like 9k per week. That would be a good thing to do at this point, I think. That'll mean we can cut taxes sooner. That will also mean we pay off our debt faster and get this interest, which would be absolutely great. We would love that. The only units that we have that are not fully trained right now are the 3rd and the 7th Russian National Guard. So the National Guard is not all that far away from full manpower, and the 3rd is a ways away. But if we're going to fight, we can utilize a different army. That's not a big deal. I think the 2nd is not quite at full. Yeah, it's not quite at full, but it's very, very close. Regardless, we have a fair amount of infamy yet, 23.4, so I'm not planning on going to war for a little bit. I would at least like to get the Sikh Empire. Well, okay, let's talk about, like, goals for the rest of the game here as we enter into, like, the last third-ish of the game. So, I would like to get Ruler of the East completed. That means that we need that war against China. I would like to have the Sikh Empire. I would like to have Jaisalmer if they can be. They're already puppeted by Belgium. We might be able to do something about that. I'd like to have Sind under our control. I would like to have Macron under our control. And ideally Oman as well. We'll see what ends up happening down there. I'd like to start moving into the Arabian Peninsula. Up here, I want to have control over Poland and Ukraine. Now, Ukraine's going to be the bigger one there. It's going to be tough. Specifically, it costs us a lot, right? And it's in a defensive pact with Austria right now. And with Poland. We could maybe do something about that, but 76.1 infamy to make it our protectorate, and to conquer these states and start carving into it would be a lot of infamy as well. So we can do like 1, maybe 2 of these states at a time. And so that's going to be slightly painful and slow. We'll see how far we get in that. But that's the overall goals for what we'd like to do for the rest of this game. Now, for now, of course, we're working and heavily investing on our coal mines. We'll get those completed fairly soon. They are actually working their way through. We do have a transportation shortage in Turkmenia, and coal and glass are expensive. Now, there is glass being built in our private construction. There is also... Exiled from Spain. Okay. There's also these glassworks that we have queued up here. So for now, that seems all absolutely okay. We're going to get these coal mines finished up. We might be overbuilding coal here. We'll see. We'll need more coal anyway, so that'll be fine no matter what. Ammunition is currently expensive. Now, that's something we should do something about. So we've got munitions plants in Moscow. Kuban would actually be the best place to put these, apparently. So I'm going to put in 5 there. And we're still going to be working on these railways and these coal mines in the background, but we'll get these munitions plants completed. Cool. As we mobilize, we're definitely going to need that. If munitions or rather, if ammunition is expensive right now, imagine how it's going to be once the... once the troops get mobilized. Yeah, we're going to need to do something about that, for sure, before we go to war. So landed voting should be passing fairly soon-ish here. Hopefully. That would be the idea. Our railways are going to be done fairly soon as well. But this is going to delay us a little bit. We've got 14 weeks, make that 13 weeks in our construction queue. And that's not too bad, actually. That's like 2 years for all of this. That's really not bad. So we're constructing at a reasonable rate here. Of course, our investment pool is negative at this moment. So we're having to pay for everything out of pocket. That is noted. I mean, not everything. We do have our reinvestment, so we're getting 105k from the investment pool transfer, but the investment pool is going to remain empty for a while. So backroom dealings have been exposed. We hit a stall. What are the odds of that? 29.3? Okay, it's unfortunate, but it's not shocking, I suppose. Minus 10% enactment time, we can just take a setback here. Almost no one is actually opposed to this, so that's reasonably fine. I mean, there's the Orthodox Church, but we don't really care about the Orthodox Church. So we are negative in our bureaucracy from that, and that is something we could work on by bringing up a couple of government administrations, and I'm going to do that. We're just going to get these done. They were already significantly underway. We delayed them for other things. And we're just going to move them up and get those done very, very quickly. So that'll be good. We're sitting at about plus 40k right now. I would like this number to improve significantly, although to be clear, our standard of living hasn't dropped as much as I expected it to from this. So that is a very good sign. It dropped by like 0.2 so far. Hopefully it will continue to not drop. There's a transportation shortage in Azerbaijan right now. Okay, let's take a look at what we've got going on here. This needs wooden passenger carriages, and we'll probably need to expand our railway, so we'll get that underway. This government administration is going to finish soon, so we'll be able to utilize that construction. So that all looks reasonably fine. It's no longer expensive in Azerbaijan. It will go back up, though, so I'm still going to build this railway, but it does look like for the moment going to wooden passenger cars was the solution. So that seems fine. We can definitely see the price of coal has dropped. Also, the price of glass has dropped a little bit. Our glassworks are still being queued up in the private constructions here. This is reasonably fine. I'm okay with the price of glass dropping right now, and I'm also still okay with building some additional glassworks in Ingria. There's only 5 of them here, so that's not going to be too big of a deal. That all looks good. Is ammunition still expensive? No, but ironclads is. I'm not too concerned about ironclads, I don't think. For now, this is reasonably okay. We're going to get these munitions plants finished up. Great Britain is importing engines from our market. That's not necessarily great, but whatever. I guess they'll get some engines. Sure. So if we look in... Let's see. Right, we're in free trade. We aren't getting tariffs. Understood. Oil has been discovered. There's also a gold rush. Gold has also been discovered. Presumably. It's mine. All mine. Do we have any additional gold mines? No. We do have plenty of oil rigs that we can make, but as of right now, the demand for oil isn't super there. That'll really start to crank up soon, though. But that's mostly technology gated. Now, I want to check in on our innovation cap here. Okay, so we are 2 above our innovation cap for right now. Our literacy is dropping at this moment. That's non-ideal. Yeah. That's really not ideal. I would like our literacy to continue going up, so we'll have to do something about that. Sick leave, a second stall here on landed voting. Wow, okay, now we're definitely getting bad luck. So somebody attempted to assassinate this agitator. Minus 7% enactment success chance or minus 15? Okay, we'll take the minus 7%. We don't get a setback for that. That is unfortunate, no doubt about that. So how many more of these coal mines do we have to build? Actually, not that many. Cool. So we'll get those finished fairly soon. Coal is still considered expensive, although by the time we finish this, it won't be. By the time we finish this, it should be in a pretty good state. So that'll be okay. We are going to be expanding our motor industries and our glass works. There's also this military shipyard here that is already queued up. So that is all reasonably fine for the moment. Ironclads? Yeah, that'll be dealt with. So I want to take a look at our current market prices. Coffee? Sure. Beyond that, not too much. There's some fertilizer in there, but there's nothing super spooky here as far as how things are going here. We are absolutely going to produce more coal. We have a large demand for coal. Minus 3.87k is our balance right now. So it's very good that we're building all of these coal mines. We can see we're up to about 50k per week now. That's not bad. That's definitely paying down our debt, which of course means that we're getting more of this interest payment, which is good. We're very happy about that. How are we doing on our tech? Shift work has 7 months to go, so that is going to be boosting our economy of scale cap. We are just reaching this in some of our buildings at this point, so this is more of a future thing. It's not going to give us a big immediate boost. I want to be clear about that. Gold has been depleted. However, we might be able to get gold mines there now. And indeed we can. We're going to queue those up as top priority. Looks good. Yeah, overall, we don't have a lot going on at this moment. Our infamy has dropped down to 18.2. We're basically just constructing and preparing our economy for a tax cut. That's mostly what we've got going on right now. I would argue we're not quite in a position for a tax cut yet. If we were at that 76 marker, I'd think about it. But yeah, this would drop by 58.3k. I think we're not in a position for that just yet. We need our economy to grow a little bit more before we can justify a tax cut. So that'll be fine. Our coal mines are finishing up here. There's not going to be too much more on that. And hopefully landed voting will actually start working here, because this has been going kind of awkwardly. It's now up to a 30% chance to stall. We hit 2 stalls in a row at a 26% chance, which is unlikely. Not impossible, but unlikely. A 3rd stall. Okay. So 3 stalls in a row at a 30% chance. Even if we assume that the other 2 were 30, they weren't. They were 26. But, yeah, that's getting unlikely at this point. No doubt about it. That's definitely getting into bad luck territory. That's okay. We're just going to get landed voting passed eventually. I'm sure that this will still go through. We've got another setback that we can take. But this is awkward. No doubt about it. I wouldn't mind getting homesteading passed, potentially. We are currently on tenant farmers. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I think that would be decent. We'll see about doing that in a bit. As soon as we get landed voting passed, hopefully. So hopefully that'll, fingers crossed, all be fine. Gold mines are going to be finishing up in 2 weeks here, and we're now working on all of these mines, which is great. And we're going to be no longer having this minus construction efficiency soon as well. This is from the Siberian terrain. There's not much we can do about that. So, yep, we'll get those gold mines built, and now we're working on motor industries. In fact, as soon as this week goes by, we'll be working on all of our motor industries simultaneously. So that looks pretty decent. Transportation shortage in Transbaikal. Okay, I want to take a look at this. Yeah, we pretty much just need a railway there, so we'll get that going. The Ottoman Empire has begun embargoing us. How rude. What a bunch of jerks. So our coal mines are going to be done in 9 weeks on the outside, and that's absolutely great. I want to check in on our infamy here, 16.2. Okay, so we're not quite to the point of inefficiency. We're getting close. If we were to demand protectorate of the Sikh Empire, that would give us 24. So really, I want to be down below 1 infamy before we do that, just to keep us from going above 25. That would be the ideal timing to do that. So that would be what we would do. Corporate charters have been unlocked. We don't have any companies, I don't think. I haven't used these yet. They're associated with one or several types of buildings in a country. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how to do those. I guess it would be in here. So plus 17.5% company throughput bonus and 32.5 company construction bonus. So we can have 1 company. Plantation Consortium of Kuban. Okay, so this is just in... This is not just in Kuban. Okay, so this would be the tobacco industry. This would be silk. This would be forest. This would be gold. And gold might not be a bad thing. Moscow metals for iron and lead. Definitely interesting. What do we really need at this point? Russian metalworks would be interesting for when we mobilize. Would not currently increase in prosperity. So we could definitely put in the premium gold here. So let's do that. And that's going to boost the throughput and the construction bonus. Now, I don't think that's actually going to increase any construction because this is not a construction company. But this should increase our throughput from our gold mines. And as this prosperity increases, they have a prosperity score which depends on their productivity. So it has to get to 100 to activate the bonus. Okay, so that's not like scaling. Gotcha. Ah, the political movement to enact homesteading has disbanded. I'm sad about that. That is actually very sad. We are building these glassworks in our military shipyard now, so this all looks relatively good. We're about to unlock shift work, so that'll be decent as well. Our economy is currently going up, not super sharply, but it is going up reasonably. So that all looks good. What else do we have going on here? A transportation shortage in Alaska. Okay, this isn't shocking either. We can certainly bump up a railway there. We could also think about increasing our port size here. But this, strangely, doesn't actually produce any transportation. It produces convoys, which makes sense, and it produces infrastructure, but it does not create any transportation, unlike the railway. So that is definitely something to think about. We've got that railway in Alaska going. There's shift work unlocked, and that did actually unlock us some bonus, it looks like. So that's good. Maybe not. So we had a debate here. Minus 20% enactment time. I guess we can go with that. Cool. So our military shipyard will be done eventually, but that's kind of a low priority, to be honest. We are sitting at about 77k right now, so we could make the argument that we should drop to high taxes. And I think we probably should. Ow. Apparently I'm hitting my knee on my desk. Fantastic. We've discovered more oil. That's, of course, expected. Yeah, let's drop our taxation level down here, and we'll prepare for another taxation level drop. But we don't need that big of a surplus right now. We're still paying down our debt. That's what's important here. And yeah, we've got that interest going on, but for the moment, that's fine. Our interest payments aren't that high. So we just got vulcanization, giving us elastics, as well as machine-to-steel tools and automatic bottle blowers. Well, actually, that leads to. Okay, so that's fine. I wouldn't mind getting elastics here, but we'd have a significant lack of rubber and silk. Do we have any way to produce rubber and silk? Let's see here. I believe that we don't, right? Hang on. Rubber or rather, vulcanization here. Vulcanization, yeah. So we don't have any rubber plantations, correct? Correct. We have no rubber plantations. We can get silk plantations, but we have no access to rubber at this time. So that means that we really probably shouldn't do elastics, because we just don't have access to rubber, and I don't want to import it. So that'll be fine for now. We can go to bone china, but that would be bad, as it has been this whole time. Machine steel tools is, again, a problem with rubber. So I think for the moment, due to our lack of rubber, we just can't do that. Do we want to go to market squares? That would be interesting for sure. It would tank the price of services, which isn't a bad thing. It is going to increase the price of glass a fair amount. That said, we are building a fair amount of glass workshops, so this is maybe okay. I don't think we necessarily want to go to covered markets. It'll do basically the same thing to glass and steel. Maybe we should, and just find out. We've also got gas streetlights here, which we're producing a lot of coal right now. Let's go ahead and do that. We're on public trams right now to produce more transportation. That seems okay as well. So that all seems absolutely fine for the moment. We might run into some issues with coal, with steel, and with glass. Let's find out. For the time being, of course, we do have these two glassworks being worked on. We're just going to keep an eye on our pricings. As those as those input goods change around, we should see some differences here. So again, we'll see how that one goes. We're finishing up all of this construction and working on government administrations primarily at this point. We may want to start thinking about moving up all of these barracks here. And there was an arts academy in there too that got put in at some point, I think by not us, but when we captured Western Afghanistan. We currently do have fine art production, but I'm just going to cancel that. That can be done with private construction. Cool. So for now, we can tick forward and keep an eye on the price of those particular goods. But I do want to get these barracks completed. They will not take very long to get done, of course. So we'll just get those done. And this railway in... Hang on. The railway in Alaska should be prioritized. This government administration doesn't need to be, but I guess we'll leave it there. That's fine. I'm not too concerned about that. Okay, so that all looks relatively good. We are currently sitting at infamy of 13.1. We're making 36.5k. Overall, this doesn't look bad. Transportation shortage currently in Kuban and Ural. Okay. So we're going to need to do something about that, of course, which means expanding out our railway here. Yep. And also here. What do we got going on here? Yeah, this needs to be expanded. Okay, cool. So that looks absolutely fine for now. We'll just continue to work on that. We've got 3 railways being worked on, but we've also got these barracks being worked through fairly quickly. They will not take very long to get done. So that looks good. This barracks in Yukon territory appears maybe a little awkward. I'm not sure where that's supposed to go. I think we probably captured that. Yeah, I'm going to cancel that. I don't think that one actually wants to be built. So that'll be fine for now. Of course, our training rate is low at this moment, and that is understood. We're back up to about 50k, which is really solid. We're probably going to be able to... Okay, we hit an advance here, finally. Yep, give me that sweet, sweet enactment success chance. So that'll be fine. We're almost to the point where we can drop our taxes again, which would be great. We're already up to 11 for our standard of living. That's looking really good. So this cost is going to be 60k. Yeah, we're not quite there yet, but we're very close. I want to check in on the price of various goods here. Okay, so ironclads, I'm not too concerned about. We do have this military shipyard queued up that will help with that. Engines are a bit up there. Fine art is up there, which, again, I'm not too concerned about. Glass. Okay, engines and glass. We can work on engines and glass. So motor industries would be... Let's go economy of scale here, I think. Well, we could actually diversify this a bit. Something like 9 here, and then Glassworks in Moscow would be the best place in theory. So we'll build 10 of those there. Okay, so something along the lines of that, but I want to move this railway up for sure. In fact, any of these that we've put progress into, I'm going to move up to the top. There we go. So we'll get that all done, and then we'll work on these glassworks and the motor industries. We may need a few additional steel mills as well. So I'm actually going to toss in a couple of steel mills here. In Moscow, it looks like. I'm going to just do 5. And we're going to do those first, I think. Or maybe like intersperse the glassworks and the steel mills in preparation for the motor industries, because the motor industries, I'm expecting to spike the price of steel a little bit here. And our steel price is already a little on the high side, so something along the lines of that. Okay, so we're going to get that going. That is, of course, going to take a little while to construct, and that's absolutely fine. So 13.5k in unrealized taxes, 11.4k in interest. Those do add up to a significant number for our current balance. If we had the unrealized taxes and the interest, at this point, I would feel comfortable cutting taxes again. As it is, I don't, and we'll get to that. But this all looks good for the moment. Yeah, we've got some low standard of living in Gotland. Actually, should we give Gotland back to Sweden? What do we have going on in Gotland right now? It's still pretty high turmoil. To be honest, I think I'm just going to give Gotland back to Sweden. I forgot that we had it. So, it'll still remain under our control. Yeah. There you go. Have fun, Sweden. So Sweden gets Gotland back. They remain under our control. They are just going to be better suited to handle that. So now we don't have to worry about that one. Beautiful. Somebody was exiled from Austria? Sure, that seems fine. So oil has been discovered in Turkmenia. We're now making fairly consistently about 60k. I do want to wait a little bit longer here before we cut taxes. I want to be making at least about 65k consistently. 62.4 is the current tax level? Okay. So bump that up a little bit. I want our post-tax cut income to be at least 5K. We did advance to adoption on landed voting, at long last, so that's good. And now we're working heavily on the glassworks and steel mills. As those finish up, those are going to add a significant amount to our economy. So that all looks good. We're up to 74.6 million, number 5 worldwide. Okay, so if we start by GDP here, the French Commune is slightly ahead of us. Noted. China's ahead of us, but that is just from their population, right? If we look at their population, 413 million. British Raj, similar. Their population is what's propelling them into such high GDP. So that's absolutely fine. And in terms of standard of living, ours is not as high as we would like it to be necessarily, but all things considered, things are going reasonably well here. We're down to 9.6 infamy. We are going to be attacking somewhere soon, and it will probably be the Sikh Empire. Yeah, they don't have any active diplomacy right now. 2705, so it would be a relatively simple engagement, but we'd be attacking into mountains, so that would be a minor concern, for sure. There's a glassworks finishing up. That all looks good. I'm strongly considering, at this time, cutting our taxes. Let's give it 2 more week ticks and see if we drop below 67. We're at 72 right now. That is 67. 1 more week tick after this. 66.9 is probably close enough. Let's cut the taxes. And there we go. Our standard of living will continue to rise. Monitors have been unlocked. Okay, cool. That's all well and good. But it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to continue to grow our economy, but we're going to go back to war very soon. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadowwolf, Kintogan, Ali Lee, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12UK, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.